Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It has been a while since I have picked up my camera. So I am currently 3 weeks post show and I thought I would just have a little bit of a catch up with you in terms of where I'm at now, kind of post show, and how it's been, with the aim of I just want to move forward and feel like I can pick up my camera again and just vlog. But it's going to be slightly different to obviously when I was on prep, because everything was so prep focused, but that isn't my focus now. Post show for me has been both really challenging, really surprising, but also, I don't know, I think it's the most amount of respect that I've had for my body and the most amount of trust that I've ever allowed myself to give to my body, and that's huge. And I actually did a post on Instagram today that I thought I would read to you because I think it pretty much sums up post show for me. I said 3 weeks post show. I weighed in this morning to make sure things were heading in the right direction. I can feel my hormones starting to get their act together, which is lovely. My stage weight was 58.8 kg and today my weight was 61 kg. Post show, I quickly realised having a meal plan was not working for me, so we scrapped it. I'll admit I was terrified about this, but I knew in my soul it was too restrictive for me during this period. I trained twice, hated it, and knew my body and mind needed a break. So I listened to my body and trusted myself and took this break. I haven't trained since. I've been walking every day because I genuinely love it, but I got rid of my fitness watch as I didn't want to be ruled by how many steps I needed. I just went by how I felt. I've been listening to my body and figuring out my hunger/fullness cues again. Yeah, some days I probably overeat, but if I'm hungry, I'll honour it, although I wouldn't know as I'm not weighing my food now. I'm still drinking 3+ litres of water a day because this comes easy for me and I do enjoy it. Moral of the story, my weight hasn't skyrocketed. I expect it to be sat at around 65 kg. This is where my body feels the happiest and my hormones function the best. I've simply allowed and trusted my body to do what it needs to do. A lot of the time you'll be told you need to reverse on a plan, and that may work beautifully for you, in which case do it. However, I felt like a failure because I scrapped all of the rules of the post-show reverse, even though I knew this is what I needed to do. I haven't been restrictive at all, I've just listened to my body. Do what works for you, trust yourself and trust your body. It bloody well knows what it's doing. And I feel like that sums up post-show. Very quickly I realised that a meal plan was just way too restrictive. I didn't want to count calories, I didn't want to look at numbers. I just had this whole thing of rebelling against everything that I had done for the last 7 months. And I think that's pretty normal, and if it's not normal for the majority, that was my normal and that was my reality post-show. And post-show really is different for everyone, but not many athletes talk about post-show. And when I say talk about show, I mean really talk about post-show. And I've had so many messages from girls that competed with me on the same weekend, girls that are transitioning into their post-show period now, thanking me for just being open about where I'm at with post-show. And it's so flippin' important. For me, post-show is a transition to training for health, fitness for health, not for physique. And with that, I knew that I didn't want to live my life tracking and counting calories. I didn't want to live my life going on walks purely because I needed extra steps, or staying out longer because I hadn't hit my step goal yet. And the anxiety I felt around those things were creating more stress for my body. And to try and regain my cycle and to regain my body's natural and kind of normal health markers, adding this kind of stress was going to do the complete opposite, and I probably would say was doing the complete opposite. Don't get me wrong, for the last 7 months I have completely, obviously, been prep focused. You have to track calories, you have to track your food, your fats, your proteins, your carbs. You need to track your steps. Everything is data, and you collect that data in order to get you stage lean and onto the bodybuilding stage. The tricky part is when you come away from that, If you don't have the goal of competing season on season, in which case if you do, I would agree that there is a time and place that you need to still keep track of those things, because you can utilize that as data. However, if you're coming away from it and going, I just want to feel normal and live more of a normal, balanced lifestyle, then I would argue that there isn't a need for all of that. If you genuinely, why did I say that so funny? If you genuinely, hand on heart, say, I really love tracking everything, it fills me with so much joy and I love it, then do you, like, you do you, literally, is what I'm trying to get at. We're all different. For me, I needed to come away from that, and originally I thought I would come away from that really slowly, but that wasn't working for me, so I just went cold turkey, and it's the best decision that I could have made. But at the time I was blimmin', like, I was just terrified, absolutely terrified. For the last 7 months I'd been told what to eat. I had been told how many steps I needed to get, how much cardio I needed to do. I'd been told what I needed to do for the whole of prep, which I needed and is necessary. So coming away from that and learning to trust yourself again, learning to trust myself again, and listening to my body and my hunger cues and my fullness cues was really scary and really intimidating, and I cried a lot over it. So post-show, the night of, we went out for a meal, which was really lovely. Wouldn't say that I overate, I just enjoyed my food. I got off stage about 7:30 in the evening, or 7:10, around between 7 and 7:30 I was off stage. So it was a bit of a later dinner anyway, so that window of post-show binge was quite small. The Monday I then had a completely untracked day, and I just ate what I wanted to eat, which was just, it was quite random to be honest, you know, but I really, really thoroughly enjoyed myself. Chris and I then went out for dinner on the Monday evening as our first date night, and I probably overdid it. In fact, I definitely overdid it. The food was delicious, but I came back and I had a cookie dealer cookie, which is huge, and I did eat past the point of being full, but knew that was going to happen, allowed it to happen, and is what it is. Went to bed, and after an hour of being in bed, I woke up with the worst stomach pain I have ever felt in my life. All of a sudden just felt so sick, and all of the colour drained from my face. My body basically just wanted to get rid of this food that I had just consumed, that it is not used to and hadn't had for the past 7 months. So as a result, I was very, very poorly. I think as awful and as horrible that situation was, and as painful as that was, it was probably the best thing that could have happened, because then the next day I was like, I don't want to do that again. I don't want my body to feel like that. I've given in and I've had what I've had, but I want to respect my body. I need to respect my body because it's been through so much over the last 7 months that I need to give it time, and I need to respect that it isn't ready for that. It isn't ready to consume so much sugar, and it doesn't need that. That isn't healthy and isn't right for it. Having a bit now and then, perfect, absolutely fine, but I don't want to feel like that again. So I ended up going back onto a meal plan, and I was on a meal plan for maybe 2-3 days maximum, and it was just making me feel really, really crap, having to weigh out food again, having to, I don't know, I just felt so restricted of, this is what you can eat and you can't eat more than that sort of thing, and it wasn't working for me. I trained at the gym, so we had leg day on that Saturday, the following Saturday. I enjoyed my leg session, but I didn't love it. I wasn't really that excited about going. And then on the Sunday, I was just in the worst mood possible driving to the gym. I didn't want to be there, I didn't want to go, I didn't want to train, and that isn't like me because I love training, but it was a massive indicator to me that I just needed a break. I just needed a break mentally, physically. My body was just screaming for it. I even cried in the middle of the gym because I didn't want to be there. But I pushed through and got it done. And then I realized that it's okay to take a step back and it's okay to have a break. But it was really scary. It was really, really scary to say, I'm not going to train until I am ready to go back to the gym and train again. And that's terrifying because, like I've said throughout the whole of prep, you can't miss a beat. You cannot miss a beat. So for me to pull training, my head just thought, well, that's it. I'm just gonna completely balloon up and be so unhappy in my body and feel rubbish. And it was really scary, but I really truly knew that that's exactly what I needed. So that's what I did. And when I made that decision to say, I'm not going to weigh food anymore and I'm not going to follow a food plan, I'm just going to start to tune in and listen to my body. And it hasn't been easy because there are days where I've really craved food, like different food, and sometimes it's hard to know your hunger cue, your fullness cue, because as soon as my body had, or as soon as I had food in front of me, my body was thinking, oh my god, you need to eat everything on your plate and more, whatever you can kind of get your hands onto, because I don't know when you're going to feed me again, because you do go into starvation mode before prep. I haven't been in the gym since those 2 sessions that I had, and I am very slowly starting to think, I might like to go back to the gym, but it will be a completely different style of training for me, I think, for a while. Just to go to enjoy the movement and to do what feels good. That might be to go for a 5k run or a 20-minute run, and then a little bit of core, a little bit of yoga, Pilates, just to go and enjoy moving my body because it feels really good. Not because I feel like I have to be there ticking boxes. It's gone a lot better than I thought it did. I had that really tricky time in that first week that was so overwhelming, and I thought I would never be able to look at food in a normal way again, and I thought I have completely fudged up my relationship with food, and I would be lying if I said that I didn't, like, prep hasn't had an impact on my relationship with food. It most certainly has, and I think any bodybuilder that says otherwise, I think, isn't telling you the whole story, personally, because it's such a restrictive sport. That's the need, and I'm by no means am I bashing it, because I absolutely loved prep and I loved everything that I've achieved, but I don't want to carry that in. I don't want to carry that behaviour forwards with me, because I know that's not productive for me personally. Which leads me on to a question that I've received a lot, which is, will you compete again? Never say never. However, it is not in any plan right now to compete again. I truly, honestly, just want to focus on moving for health, eating a really nice balanced diet, but feeling like I can reach for some Oreos with my cup of tea if I want some Oreos with my cup of tea, and just not having to worry about, is there enough protein in this, is there enough carbs, is there enough fats, and playing around with all those variables. I hadn't weighed myself until this morning, just because I felt really hungry when I woke up this morning, and I wanted to check that everything was moving in the right direction. By that I mean I was gaining weight, and yeah, I have, but I haven't gained the amount of weight I thought I would have, which is fine. Gives me more room where I know that my body can still gain weight, but it also reaffirms to me that I have just completely listened to my body and trusted that it would tell me what it needed and when, and it has, and I've honoured that at all times. Another update is I actually quit my gym membership with Pro Strength. Not because of Pro Strength being a bad gym. I freaking love that place and I still see that as my home gym. But with how I was feeling post-show, I just realised that I needed a whole complete fresh environment where I'm not surrounded by bodybuilders, because it's intense. And whilst I was navigating this period post-show, I thought it's just best if I just leave that membership. Now, if I had all the money in the world, I would have just kept the membership going and just gone back when I was ready to. However, cost of living right now, it was just a sensible choice. Haven't been using the membership. I can sign up at any point to go back, which I will be doing, but I just needed a bit of a change of environment. So I've gotten a cheaper gym membership where I can just go and just move my body when I'm ready to and enjoy, and when I'm ready to, I will go back to Pro Strength and be around the environment that I do absolutely love being around. I just needed a nice little break from. Moving forward with this channel, I didn't want to stop filming, but I had this massive imposter syndrome feeling and just felt like no one was going to be interested. 1 second. Sorry, Chris called me. I kind of felt that no one would be interested in sticking around if I wasn't going to come on here and say that I would compete again, and that I was going into a big off season. And I got into my head thinking that no one would care if I wasn't, unless I was shredded and talking about prep and everything to do with that. So that's kind of been a big barrier for me to realise that I really don't do this for anybody else. I do this because I genuinely enjoy documenting things and the editing process and then getting content up. And I like just to have a chat about life and be real and be open and show you guys different things. And I really hope that you'll come along with me for my next journey, whatever that is. Right now it's still about regaining full health, because I'm not quite there yet in terms of, I still don't have a cycle, which is fine. I can feel my hormones starting to come back into play, which is lovely. And yeah, I have no doubt that I won't get my cycle back. It's just being patient and not putting the stress on myself. So I am gonna go back to the gym. Chris and I over the weekend are going to be visiting a different gym, which I'm really excited about. So that will be good, and I think that will kind of kickstart my love for movement and my want to train. But it's going to be on my terms instead of prep's terms, and I want to share with you some really lovely, wholesome, yummy food and just bring you along with this next chapter, wedding planning, all of that. And yeah, I'd be really, really grateful if you would stick around. I completely understand if that isn't why you're here and you don't want to continue watching, because I guess that period of my life is coming to an end. So, you know, and if that's the case, that's absolutely fine. Thank you so much for the support that you have shown me. Honestly, it has been incredible, and I feel so lucky that I've had you guys behind me throughout this whole process as well. But if you are sticking around, you can expect vlogs, you can just expect some just life on this channel, which is just a little bit of everything. And I think I'm still not out of post show by any means. I still have really hard days, and I would like to share that with you in case there are any girls that are coming away from competing and saying, I want to find a balance instead of go into a full off season and start growing, because the transition away can be and has been really difficult. But I want to be here to say, if you don't follow the rules of the reverse diet, you'll be fine. Just do whatever works for you, whether that is following a reverse diet plan or whether that is just saying, I need a break from it all and I need to just trust myself. Do whatever works for you and you'll be okay, I promise you. So yes, I'm gonna wrap that up here. Thank you very much for listening to my ramble. I really hope when I come to edit edit this that I can string it all together and it actually is coherent. Otherwise, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I hope that you are all well, and I really do look forward to picking up my camera again and just bringing you along with me on this next chapter of finding balance, finding health, and enjoying life. Thank you.